I'm an old dog and I soon learnt that trick pretty quickly. I would take it off, and that was a great example. Hello, I'm going to demonstrate the regenerative braking and count how many times I brake in my Tesla, and I'll tell you how many times it was later. I only drive with one pedal, the accelerator, and my regen braking is set to the maximum hold to get the best fuel economy. So I want to demonstrate the typical day's driving and how it works, and the different types of driving conditions in the town: 30, 40, 50 and 60 miles an hour. Something that surprised me when I first had my Tesla LFP, something that I wasn't expecting, so please stick around, I'll tell you what it is. And is a human smarter than autopilot computer? Let's see if we can find out today. This road is 30 miles an hour downhill, and I sometimes use the cruise control. It keeps me at just 30 miles an hour. Otherwise you can find yourself getting faster and faster, and speeding is a problem on this road. But if there's any bends or any cars or anything other than just a straight clear road, I would take it off, and that was a great example. I would take it off, and that was a great example of where it was on cruise control. The bus was quite a long way over, and the car decided to stop. It thought maybe the bus was going to go into you. It acts a little bit like an extremely nervous passenger, and I think the difference between North America and UK and maybe Europe is that we're used to driving closer to other cars. In California, America, Canada, they're not, and that's really the difference. That wasn't close in Europe, but it would be in North America. So that's a good example of when I was in cruise control that the car reacted in the way it did. So I still haven't used my brake yet. I didn't brake back there. It was the car that actually decided that the bus was going to, thinking the bus was going to drive into it, and decided to brake, but I haven't. So, and as I gently take my foot off the accelerator, the car comes to a nice, slows down, and you've got to keep it on, otherwise you'd be short actually off. I can go here. Okay, so we're coming up to the first speed bump, and I let my foot right off and go to the speed bump. It's slightly on, down the other side, and then accelerate through, and then take the foot off the accelerator for the speed bump, and just put it on lightly to go over the top, and then accelerate through to the next one. Here I take the foot off, slightly on for the top of the speed bump, and through to the other side. So then I'll turn around here, and again, when you take the foot off the accelerator, you put it's like a light brake all the time. This car's letting me go, so I can go. Thank you very much. And we'll go on these speed bumps again, accelerate into it, and then foot off, lightly on top of the speed bump, and then accelerate slightly to the next one. What am I, 20 yards in front, the foot comes off, I slow down. It's lightly as I go over the speed bump, and then I can accelerate through to the next one. And this was a big surprise when I got the car, how much easier it is to go over speed bumps. You haven't got the constant accelerator, foot brake, accelerator, foot brake. So much easier. The car is easier on many ways, but the one pedal driving is so easy. Think about, there we go, from 30 up to 60 in just a few seconds. Supposed to right. One stalk down, that will give me maintain the speed, but two, when the blue line comes up, this then goes blue, and it's now steering for me. keep me just a good distance between the van front, which you can see. So it's just holding a nice distance, and it's going to take me, although I'm holding the steering wheel, it's actually steering it around the corner. Just adjusting this dial here because I think it was set to 5 distances. I prefer the maximum at 7. It's just holding back, and if I do the next thing, forward, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Just touching the brakes, so there's a few bends here. This is not ideal, far from ideal, so I'm back in control of the steering wheel. It will do it, but I don't recommend it. I wanted to just have the cruise control, one down, and I'm steering, but I'm not using the accelerator. The car is deciding for me, and keeping a decent distance from the lorry in front. This is a good test for regen braking because it's downhill and it's a very, very sharp corner. Start indicating, and it's slowing me down quite nicely, and I still need a little bit. Touch the accelerator, and now it takes me around nicely. It's very good. I have used autopilot down here, but I don't think it's very safe. The trouble is the white lines suddenly stop. Lots of vehicles are over the road, and cruise control, rather autopilot, thinks that it's going to go into you and brakes suddenly. I think here in the UK, Europe, we're used to much smaller roads and driving in these, and don't need such a large amount of space between us and the next car. What do you think? Please leave a comment below. T-junction here, we have to stop. It could give way, but there's not many circumstances when you can, because you can't really see it. There's lights there, nothing coming, so we can go. So the total times I braked today in a variety of road conditions was 0. Yes, 0. And most days is the same. I only use the brakes in an emergency for something unexpected that I could not foresee ahead of me. The regen braking is very good, set to whole, and saves lots of energy and increases the range of miles your EV would do. The surprise I had when I first got my Tesla was just how good it is over speed bumps. Just having to use the accelerator, pushing it down slightly, and then lifting it off slightly down with the brake pedal, and not having to use that brake pedal all the time. So much better. I did read someone in the US who's had one on order was reading about the regen braking and said, oh, it's a deal breaker, I'm going to cancel mine, which is nonsense, because once you've driven for an hour or so, probably even less, it's great. The thing is, when you take your foot off the accelerator, it slows down a lot more than in a traditional car where you sort of roll forward. So you then learn to keep your foot slightly on the accelerator, and it doesn't take you long. And there's no one older than me. Well, there probably is a few people older than me, but I'm an old dog, and I soon learnt that trick pretty quickly. Also, is a human smarter than autopilot, as a human looks further ahead and can make smaller adjustments? The autopilot stops abruptly but won't make small adjustments that a human can. Earlier on today with the bus, that there was room. I moved slightly over. The bus was slightly over the lane. It looks worse on this than it actually was. I think, to be honest with you, my wife's Canadian. She doesn't like driving here because the cars are so close. We get used to it. We've been brought up with it. North America, USA, Canada, there's a lot bigger spaces, but you know, we're quite used to having only a few feet between us and another car. The autopilot is a little bit behind an experienced driver who looks further ahead. On the camera, actually, it braked slightly before the beep 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 I could see, because the camera moved slightly forward because the car was braking, so I was able to analyze it afterwards. Anyway, what do you think? Please leave a comment below. Jennifer, my wife, and I like to post YouTube videos about traveling with our Tesla, swimming, surfing, walking and cycling. I hope you like if you did, and please subscribe and hit that notifications bell. Please look out for our other videos, and hope you don't forget to use your reusable coffee mug wherever you go. Take care. See you next time. Bye.